For the next part, we're going to take a look at setting up the OAuth, or at least the application registry pieces in ServiceNow. I will essentially be doing the same thing on both instances, but I'm going to just pull up one and show what's already created, and then we'll create our own. So the first thing we want to do is go to the application registry. So we're just going to use our filter navigator and pull up application registry. And I'm going to go ahead and pull up the ones that we have created. Now these are the ones that supported the demo that we did at the very beginning. So we have one OAuth connection that is used to connect to the instance, and one that is there to allow the second instance to connect to us. So the most essential things that we're going to exchange between the two are going to be the client ID, the client secret, and then the ID and password for the two user accounts that we had created before. Obviously your token URL is just going to be the name of your instance with OAuth_token.do, and then we'll obviously do a demo of the profile, and after that we'll get into the REST message itself. Okay, we're going to go ahead and in our instance 1 create some entries here. So the first one I'm going to do is create an OAuth API endpoint for external clients, and what this will allow us to do is generate a client ID and a client secret that we can then give to the other instance to allow it to connect to us. So I'm just going to give this a name. Not super creative, so give me a moment here. I think I'm just going to call it a connection for instance 2. And then obviously the client secret's here. Like it says here, if you leave it blank, it'll automatically generate a string. I guess you can create your own. I personally have not had a specific reason to do so. If you did need to configure things like redirect URL or logo URL, you're welcome to. For our purposes here, we are going to make this refresh token lifespan, access token lifespan. We're just going to leave these as they are. And then we're also going to hope that this just works out, because I just noticed that I'm doing this in the customer service application. So yay. I'm going to jump out of that right now, and then we'll do it the right way actually. Alright, so I guess build it as we fly it. We are now in the global scope. I'll rename it. The things that I said before, we're going to still leave it all default, and then we're going to go ahead and save. And there we go. Now, not that this is something that we would typically do, but just for time, I'm going to go ahead and get my client ID and my client secret here in the comment field so that I can pass it along a little bit easier. Okay, so here in our instance 2, we're going to go ahead and create the application registry. That'll allow us to then exchange them back and forth, because we'll have the pieces that both will need to ask of the other. And here we're just going to go to new. And we're going to create an OAuth API endpoint for external clients. When we come back, then we'll come and do the connect to a third-party OAuth provider piece. And I think in the other instance, I just named it connection for instance 2. So this one will be connection for instance 1. And again, everything else will be left as it was. Okay, now with that, we actually are at a point to where we can go to the both instances and then establish the connections. So we should have our connection for instance 1 in this instance, and then connection for instance 2 in the other instance. And what we'll do next is come in here and connect to a third-party OAuth provider.